The PCR mix contains nucleotides, which are the building blocks of your DNA and RNA, and the enzyme mix contains polymerase DNA helicase and all the other enzymes that are required for you to be able to perform a PCR reaction. It also has positive and negative control. Vortex mixer is meant to resuspend properly our reagents, but make sure to not vortex them too much as they could get destroyed. Next is to centrifuge as load the reagents, make sure it is balanced. Each pair of reagents has 24 tests and you have to use 4 for each batch, and each batch is 96, and that would depend on your needs. Using a pipette with special tips because it filters get a crotube which is RNA free. Aside from being RNA free, it is sterile. Ideally, changing pipette tips every after tube is required, but since you are pipetting the same reagent, you can still use the same tip as long as it does not touch the external surface. As for enzyme mix, a color green tip will be used with the same filter tip but at a small volume. Change tips every time because of its being very viscous, possible to make bubbles. After replacing, just cover and properly labeled and sent to sample preparation room. This plastic plates is not recommended by written for testing because it's very prone to contamination. PCR software is automated. First you need to create new program and look for your template, and this template is your protocol, and will be labeled by listing a number. Click next and it's going to ask you to map your samples, and since if you are using an automated system you can just import the sample and you can have your map already. This specific map corresponds to the positioning of the samples. Make sure there are no bubbles in the samples until loading them. Simply search the PCR scripts and flick it to get the bubbles to rise to the top. Using a microcenter to load all of the samples or components of the strip in a manner similar to how it's mapped, making sure you can use a lint-free tissue or a Merlin-free paper towel. These are a specific brand of Kim wipes, and you don't have to use a lint-free tissue or a Merlin-free paper towel. These are a specific brand of Kim wipes, and you don't have to apply any pressure. All you have to do is make sure they're all evenly capped. That all of the caps are equally capped or evenly tied.